Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 703. Always excited about doing episodes. This episode is what should I invest in slash trustees invest in 2026. And so we're going to cover this today because we get this question all the time. This isn't legal advice, this isn't financial advice, this is just word to the wise as we stand on the soapbox and talk about it today because so many people ask. We actually got this conversation to come up in the past 48 hours. And then on the back end of that, we actually have a trustee that is, well, a lot of trustees in general, but one in particular we're going to point out because a lot of people are in this position, long story short. So, always appreciate everybody tuning live, listening to replay. Feel free to type into the chat where you're listening live or listening to replay so people can see where the audience is listening in. So, always appreciate all the long time listeners, everybody that types into the chat where they listening live in or listening to replay from. So, this particular episode, what should I slash trustees invest in 2026? And so, this is a very simple episode. A lot of trustees, they always ask this question. It's a sneak question. A lot of people ask this. This is like bad water cooler conversation, where you ask the general public, what should we be investing in 2026? And it's like, well, first of all, let's just keep it very simple. A lot of people aren't sophisticated, so how are you investing in sophisticated asset classes? Do you know what a sophisticated asset class is when they talk about trading stocks and bonds and all this other stuff? So let's talk about the best one and how is the best one. The best one is going to be insurance, ladies and gentlemen. And we said this to a trustee, and they're like, "Oh man." But long story short, the worst part about it is the insurance is not an investment until you hit the trigger. Other than that, it's actually called a savings at a better interest rate than a bank. Because everybody tries to shun index funds. How are you going to shun an index fund when the index fund only benefits on the upside of the market with the insurance? Your regular EFTs and funds, if they go down, you go down with it. That's not an insurance. So when we talk about the insurance, ladies and gentlemen, like Trust Christian Evolve, we're not sitting here promoting the insurance. We're just sharing with you all. People come to us asking us this stuff. What's the best investment? We're telling you, ladies and gentlemen, even if it's not considered an investment, why would you not put your money in something called insurance? It's insuring the money that you say is losing value every day. All of y'all want to put money in all these different paper assets, but you don't want to hold hard assets. Then when you find out, oh, there's a private class of assets, alternative investments, insurance is one of them. Banks, when they are in giving you money, when they're insuring your money, they're using BOLI, bank owned life insurance. BOLI. Just like corporations have insurance, COLI, banks have bank owned life insurance. And for that reason, you got banks that are basically insuring your money past $250,000 because that's the way it works at the traditional financial intermediary. That's why people want to push blockchain. It's because they're not able to hypothecate money with the Federal Reserve because they're not insured $250,000. What crypto coins are insured for $250,000? More than that. Exactly. They're trying to what do they call it? Decentralize. Okay, have fun with that new wave of theory and thought. That's fine. We're not against it, but be aware of what it is. So let's get back to the matter at hand. Oh, and even if you were to put bank money there, that's what you see it as. It's a bank. It's a form of reserve. It creates its own form of internal value. Right. Sounds like the insurance. It's insured against the market for the downside. Think about it. Cryptos are insured against that. Their market fluctuating just like the insurance based off the value of the dollar, because those are things that people aren't happy about with the money. Okay, well, do you have a better money system? Oh, we're gonna go back to bartering? Not at all. We're gonna stay focused on where we are right now and actually take advantage of the moment. So, oh man, insurance. We talked to a trustee yesterday. going through a situation with their family member has an illness, dementia. Well, first of all, is insurance on the trustee? We got to go ahead and tighten up, culture. Is there insurance on the family member? They're an asset, but they're acting as a liability right now on the family estate. The family estate is paying for this family member, make sure that they have their medical fees paid for, make sure that they have someone there to make sure that they're good for most of the time, to make sure that they're going to have all a good quality of life. That's the family trust. That's the family estate that's taking care of an individual. So why would the family estate not have insurance on a liability or an asset? Do you have insurance, quote unquote, personally, quote unquote, on yourself? Do you have insurance on your car? Do you have insurance on your house? Then you would have insurance on a family member. The family estate would have insurance on a family member because they're an asset, quote unquote, or they're a liability. And we want to have insurance on it. Just like you want to have insurance on the money. That's why you go to the insurance companies and say, oh, Trust Christian, how come you never got your insurance license? Because we are not licensed kind of people. We're okay with understanding that you can have someone, a professional, do that. That's why they get the license, so they can be a professional, so they can act within a professional code of conduct and have some rules and regulations. So, we're gonna go ahead and give y'all as much value as we can in the time period of this conversation. If First of all, the insurance is a private contract. They are not of the public. They are private. So when you're sitting here playing around with your financial future, so I don't know if I need to get the insurance right now. I don't really know if I have the money, if I have the time, and this, that, and the third. You're just making excuses for why you're not putting yourself in position to ultimately make sure that the family has the money protecting someone in the family that is an asset or a liability. Long story short, just like the family estate insures cars, the family estate insures houses. It's the same exact thing. The family estate pays the insurance for the property, then clearly it would be paying for insurance for the trustees, or it would be paying insurance possibly for a beneficiary. It may be paying for that insurance. So you say, what's the best investment? It's not even an investment. That's the worst part about this episode. It's not even an investment. Sure, we could talk about gold. Sure, we could talk about silver. We could talk about precious metals, industrial metals. But at the end of the day, when we talk about making sure, oh man, I'm the Rufus Doofus test. I'm a Rufus Doofus test. The money. Well, how do I put the money in a safe, secure investment and guard against my stupidity against the money? You put it in the insurance. But people haven't been taught a wealth mindset. They've been taught a run 'em and go mindset, a also ran mindset. Oh man, what do you do with the money? You do what everybody on the TV says, or you just wing it. You don't wing wealth. Wealth is a planned strategy. Just like you go to war, it's a planned strategy. Oh no, I don't want to think that way. Then we clearly know. How are you going to perpetuate something past your ignorance? Then think about it. The second and third generation, they didn't put in the work for the money like the first gen did. So they're going to be sitting in a different position. They may not have the work ethic. They may not have the mindset. So clearly you're going to be putting in systems that guards against their ignorance and their quote unquote and or stupidity. What's wrong with that? You're going to put a system in place that says no matter what you are or who you are, you're going to have an income source come to you that's moderate and gain towards the market so you can live at a great lifestyle. So you can live out your creativity with unencumbered financial positions. These are the type of mindsets that we're talking about here. So let's continue having the conversation then. Well, okay. If we're going to be in a position where we are quote unquote taking care of family members, ladies and gentlemen, like many trustees are. Oh man, should I put insurance on my children? Ladies and gentlemen, we got trustees that got insurance on their children. The family estate. That's helpful to the child now, let alone on you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're having the conversation to make sure that you say, oh man, I don't know where to put the money. Should I put it in real estate? I don't know. Should I put it in the stock market? Yeah, but you didn't put it in the safest place you could put it right now and insure the money before you take it out of the cash value life insurance policy and put it into something else. It's interesting. Why does it have to be the greatest secret kept or the greatest quietest secret kept? Well, it's not so much that. It's just a wealth tool. It's not for people that don't want see the value in it. We're here to share with you the value so you can be aware of the value. Oh man, they want to push to you every business. People want to push to you everything, but they don't want to push to you making sure that the money's insured. What kind of silliness is that? That's how you know the mindset is backwards in the public, and it's not private. First of all, insurance is private. It's a private contract between the family estate, you quote unquote qualifying between the private parties. They're going to hold some indemnities and they're going to hold some contracts. They're going to hold some actual value for you. They're actually giving you a prefabricated value based off of a small incremental payment because that's how much money these institutions have, and it's based off of life insurance. Oh yeah, wow. People want to sit here and talk about every single thing else. It's that simple. So, oh man, can anybody do these policies, Trust Christian? Not at all. We are at the vault. We're in the private sector. We're aware of how to get that done. We are clear on how to get that done, and we're excited about getting it done. We don't do we have a team that actually gets things done, and they've gotten things done for years. We have them at workshops, and we've had a great relationship. For a lot of trustees that are listening, if y'all listen to this, y'all like, oh man, Trust Christian, it finally hit home. It finally went where I needed it to go. It finally, resonated with me. I'm gonna reach out to the people that you introduced us to, and I'm gonna get going because I need to really implement these strategies. And hey, stop sitting here act like I got better investments that I'm about to put the money into. Yeah, right. What better investments do you have to put the money into? What investments do you have? Oh man, well, can I put $300 a month in here? Less than $500 a month? That's what they want to know. Oh man, I just want to do some incremental payment stuff into something because I don't really want to put nothing really at risk. When if you put the money in, you can take part of the money back out. So how is it a complete conflict of interest? It's called understand the numbers, put the numbers in, and keep it moving. You create it like it's a bill, but really it's a tool that actually exponentially grows the wealth and indexes it at a higher level than if you were just going through a traditional banking system. I mean, can it get complicated? Sure, but at the end of the day, that's not for we would say trustees to really harp on. The focus would be, do you have the right people? And so we know the right people. We work with the right people. We connect with the right people. We are in the right rooms. You can reach out to the vault, Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com, and we will make it a point to get you in contact with the right people. Long story short, it's that simple. And so, from that perspective, we would say, are you focused on what would be the best investment? You can reach out to the vault at Christian at trustchristian.com. We can make sure that you have those needs serviced. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people that are like, oh man, I want to put my money somewhere, and they want to go into the traditional investments. But then when it comes to something that actually they already doing for something else, they just gotta actually fortify their position because that's how powerful it is. Sure, you can have insurance on everything else, but how is it that you don't get the money back from that? Whereas in this particular deal, you could take money out of the policy while you're putting money in. So like my 401k, like my IRA, Trust Christian in the vote. It's like my IRA where I'm not able to take out anything because it's a penalty and I'm doing pre-tax money. Right, the insurance. How many people have y'all heard talk about taxes because it's private? How many people have y'all heard talk about taxes when it comes to the insurance, ladies and gentlemen? How many people have y'all heard talk about it? Why? Because it doesn't really exist. It is private, that's fair. If you give it to an individual, they could be liable. But at the end of the day, the money, we're not going to say it's not taxable because it depends on how you give it to somebody. But we know if it goes in certain positions, it's not. And that's what people find hard to hear. Oh man, if can I just give it to my children? You got to give it to the family estate, ladies and gentlemen. It's not legal advice or financial advice. You can check with them. But at the end of the day, many people like, oh man, I got the insurance. I got insurance. Trust Christian. I got it. But it's not what you talking about. How much money can you take out of the policy right now, and it still not feel you be scared or penalized? Who is this typing into the chat? Appreciate everybody for typing in live or listening to replay. Somebody typed into the chat, I'm wondering if the vault has people in Australia perhaps open to having them, or is it open for the U.S.? It's actually, we have trustees that are in Australia right now. Actually, we've had trustees for years in Australia, so we're happy. We've had people in like what's that place? It's like an off place, like New Zealand too. So like these like you gotta check the jurisdictions because we work with trustees in various different jurisdictions, but we're aware of the jurisdictions that trustees are running, and most places in the world are ex-crown rule. Sure, there's some French Napoleonic places, there's some civic law places, but for the most part, the crown ruled the country for ruled the world. So a lot of places have common law, English law, around the world. Most people speak English, so it's usually English law. So we're very familiar with that region of the world, um, and excited to connect with people from there. But definitely, even in those regions, when they talk about the insurance, it's the same thing, man. Insurance is in every country for the most part, and if not, you can leave out the country. It's a bond, basically. So, it's a lot of opportunity to, whether it's insuring yourself, insuring the family. At the end of the day, people got insurance for a lot of stuff. So why not have it for really what's creating the value, which is the family, the individual themselves? Why would you not have insurance on the most valuable things, which are quote, oh, I love my family. Do you have insurance on them? You love your car, right? You love your house, right? So do you have insurance on your family members? Oh man, I didn't know I could do that. And then I didn't know I could use the money right now. Oh, I didn't know it's not a negative. It's not even an investment. It's considered me saving money. I'm taking money, putting it into a savings account, letting it accrue interest, but I'm borrowing against it, and I'm still not penalized, and I'm still actually utilizing it. What kind of savings account stuff is this? Exactly. So, somebody typed into the chat. Thanks for responding. Yes, all Crown Rule Corporation. Sure, there's definitely I mean, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we get this type of rhetoric, and we're just going to be very clear, ladies and gentlemen. There is no one being that's running anything. We're talking about in the government. So for that reason, there's been some systems that have been in place. And if individuals want to take an adversarial position against the corporations or otherwise, sure, you're trying to act like it's the Matrix and that these entities can do something without you. First of all, think about this. You want to call it a corporation or a trust. It doesn't matter. We're going to be clear. It doesn't matter if you call it a corporation or a trust. It's a paper contract. Let's be clear on that. A corporation is a paper contract. It's an artificial being. A trust is a paper contract. It's an artificial being. So if they're both artificial beings, the trust can't get the insurance on itself. The trust has to get the insurance on a live being. The trust or the corporation can get insurance on a live being. That's how you know you're an asset. But how did you get your value estimated? You got it estimated based off the value, the market value. They take things into play. They're the ones giving issuing paper notes. They're the ones that's going to allow you to hypothecate through their financial system. Okay, great, because that's the way the contract is set up. Did you create a contract as a bank owner and hypothecate and go through your own bank? Most people didn't. So until you know how to set up your own bank, and don't give us this excuse, hey, I'm some lowly person from West Nowhere, and I don't know how to read and know how to set up a bank for myself. When others did. Just like you're building wealth, you're going to build a system. You're going to build a banking system, a private family banking system. That's what you're going to do. Not sit here and say the system is adversarial. Oh, the corporation's de facto, the corporation's printing fake money. Well, what real money are you extracting from the ground? Do you have a gold mine? Are you producing value into the marketplace? Or are you just existing? Taking from the system, getting freebies, getting fake food. Because if you were producing your own food, you wouldn't care what the system was producing. If you were producing your own water, you wouldn't care what the system is producing. Whoa, I gotta do so much to get in that position. I gotta do all of this work. I gotta become somebody. I gotta do something. I can't just stay in my lowly state. No, you cannot. You have to create a system that's quote unquote for your family. That's the first place. No, there's no way around it. You create one for your family, then your local community, and then you can go from there. But at the end of the day, how many people are looking to create their own banking system for their family? Oh man, I don't really want to do that, trust Christian in the vault. I just want the bank to be the bank. And I don't want to think about that. Exactly. That's what many are saying. Is that you? Are you the one that's sitting here saying, oh yeah, I'm not going to study none of that banking stuff. I'm about to watch the playoffs. I'm about to watch the soccer playoffs. I'm about to watch the football playoffs. I got to watch the playoffs for 4 hours today because I got to see who's going to the next round. But as far as that private family banking stuff, I'll just find you, Trust Christian involved. I'll find somebody else that knows the content. I'm going to go sit in front of somebody else. I'm not going to be able to get a base foundation in banking because I'm an American and that we that's a given. So, if we're going to create a private family banking system, those are some of the steps. You got to ensure the money that you're making. Create a banking system. This isn't legal advice or financial advice. We got trustees that have sat at workshops with us, and sat in the room with individuals that can help them do these things. They've had people sit in the room and do these things. We done sat in the room with trustees and done cried at a workshop. That's just bottom line. Trustees done cried at workshops before, like, oh man, I can't believe I finally found it, or it finally clicked. Like, what do you mean? Trustees have cried at workshops. Some people might find that hard to believe. Oh man, there's no way, Trust Christian, you're just exaggerating. It's like, not at all. Like, we've had trustees definitely like tear up and sniffling, and it's more than one individual because they see and they understand the power of it. It's not Trust Christian in the vault. It's bigger than Trust Christian in the vault. Insurance been around for over 500 years. And it's going to continue to be around. But for some odd reason, people want to take adversarial positions. And at the end of the day, it's no need to take an adversarial position. Just bottom line, like if you have the opportunity to cash out or improve your family's lot in life or anything of that nature, then take advantage of it. What's the benefit of cursing the system? Oh, the system is rigged. No, it's not. The system is not rigged. The system is for you. Oh, I don't want to hear that, Trust Christian in the vault. That's all it is. They just don't want to hear that the system is for them. It's a system set up for them, and they haven't figured it out yet because they haven't considered themselves elite. They haven't considered themselves wealthy. They haven't considered themselves money, quote unquote, paper, asset hypothecators. There may be haters, but they're not hypothecators. They're hating the fact that they got to do something. And that's the sad part about it. Oh man, I got to do something? Well, you are in the universe. A seed, you still have to plant the seed in the ground in order for the fruit or the tree to come up. You got to do something. I mean, sure, the Lord may put some seeds out there, but at one point He's going to give you an intuition like, all right, when the seeds come, you can get them, put them in your hands, and you can even go put the seeds somewhere else. So it's a skill set. What skill set do you have? See, a lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't have the skill set of risk management and asset management. They haven't been taught that in public school. How do you know how to assess risk? If people were taught that in public school, we have a lot more asset managers and risk managers. That's not the case. They talk about the debt. They think about it. They try to brag about, oh, the government's in debt. So if the government's in debt, is that showing that they're good risk managers? When they brag about that, do they brag about the GDP or do they brag about, oh man, we're in debt and woe is the people? Right. So how do you get around that? Education, improving your skill set, being able to analyze risk. Some people don't understand not coming from a non-risk perspective, especially when you're from the insurance perspective. A lot of families will have the insurance and then they understand, like they're like, man, how is there a risk? It's not. But then when they go back into the public markets, they're like, man, terrified. Why? Because there's risk in the public markets, whereas in the private markets, it's not as much. It's a different type of risk. We're gonna say it's there, but it's different. Various different assets come with a different type of risk, and you have to be able to analyze that risk. So it's risk management, wealth management, asset management. What are you? Are you an employee or asset manager? Are you an employee or investment manager for your family estate? That's what people don't want to hear. Oh man, I gotta think about the government. No, you don't. You don't need to think about the government. You need to think about your family estate from a corporate perspective, from a trust perspective, and think about, okay, from our position right now, where are we on the books, and what are we doing to move forward to increase the book value of this family estate? That's how it looks. So we appreciate everybody that's tuned in live, listened in the replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the Vault. You can feel free to reach out Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from all of you all. Consultation. Someone reached out from Australia. We got trustees right now enrolled from Australia. So look forward to hearing from you all. Peace and joy.